Between 100 AD and 1300 AD, the Anasazi engineered massive stone cities directly into the natural rock overhangs of the American Southwest. In Chaco Canyon, Pueblo Bonito reveals the scale of their ambition. It took 3 centuries to complete, eventually housing over 800 rooms. They built 32 kivas into the complex, circular underground chambers with complex timber-framed roofs. Many were positioned so the light of the sun and stars entered specific portals, allowing the population to track passing seasons. This society supported itself through a vast trade network. They exchanged goods with distant neighbors to acquire luxury items, like copper, seashells, and the turquoise jewelry that served as the backbone of their high-value economy. This was a thriving desert empire that had mastered irrigation and architecture to dominate one of the most unforgiving landscapes in North America. Then, at the end of the 13th century, the expansion stopped. Construction was abandoned, leaving behind